So many stories, so many pains.
All around the productions.
Stories of horror, murder, holiness, love, passion, passion, passion. Oh, the pain to not be able to speak when you want to be heard. Who would be the one? Clairvoyancy, clairaudiency. Any way we can get it done. Someone's got to do it. Two sides to the paranormal, but who will be the one? There are many. There are many. We need a whisperer.
All around the production.
You, welcome back to Lehigh Valley Ghost Whisperer. A story which fuels my passion for hate of the evil demon spirits of S1ep3. My own horror, my own that belongs to me and the very family that I've lived for. A demon entity. To think, all the time we did Constitution Drive, the series. Could we have brought one home? Could we have brought one home? Or was it there when we arrived? There was nothing that could stop us from doing what we do. Live as a family united as one. Tell the story of an apartment we moved to. An apartment we moved to that gets darker and darker as we walk. A place trapped with ghosts, being tormented by demons, history of crime and history of drugs, history of murder and prostitution, rape. Give me my fire so I can tell my story. Demons that cause family arguments, insanity, unforgiveness. Two, not one. One, the most common of them all, the man with the hat. A demon that causes frustration and pain, unforgiveness. But we could not tell the children about this. Sure, they knew about the ghosts and all the stories of the ghosts that we would try to find. They loved it. But we couldn't let them know that the demons were real. But now here they were. Could it be started by the powers of the demon S1ep3, Lord of the Flies, the coronation and the beginning of the botfly, to allow the gates and the portals of two mirrors connect, brings forth the other demon with the top hat.
All around the production.
Will the children see him? So now, in the first time in this series and in the first time of our travels, I take you to my home. A building packed with ghosts. An episode I like to call 621 West Turner, House of Demons. Well, first we were at the old apartment, and when we were at the old apartment, we went through a lot of stress. With the landlord that we had there at the time, we were in and out of court with him on multiple occasions. Won a court hearing with him, actually. Right around the same time my dad died, and I started experimenting more with seeing we had already done the Constitution Drive series. I wanted to expand it, I guess, go to these different places I was reading about, because I wanted an opportunity to talk to my father. Some people may think that sounds crazy, but my dad was a very good friend of mine. But anyway, so shortly after my dad died, we moved into this 621 West Turner. At first, the apartment wasn't ready for a while. We were staying at her sister Jen's downstairs in this other apartment. And one of the occasions we were driving over to my dad's house to see my stepmom, even though he was already passed. I'm going down 12th Street getting ready to turn up to Hamilton. And I don't know what it was, this feeling that got into my head. It was like a very bad spiritual vibe. And it was so strong, the car started jerking. And not only jerking, the lights are going off and on, and everybody in the car is like freaking out. I get to the point where I'm so stressed out I have to pull over, and as I pull over, there's an officer passing. Fortunately, he didn't stop us or anything. I just lost my cool totally. I think it was the first time that I noticed a difference. It wasn't shortly long after we were actually in that building. Then one night, when I was sleeping there, Jen would sleep out in the kitchen area, like it was like living room, kitchen. You had to see how the setup was. We would sleep in the bedroom, and while sleeping on the bed, we had noticed that there were these little tiny tick-looking things. They looked like ticks, but moved extremely slow. Well, one night I had this dream. I was reading on outer body experiences, and I was practicing some of the stuff from the book, meditations and stuff like that. And in the middle of this, I had dozed off and had a dream of two Spanish girls, and one of them were being raped on the dresser area, but the dresser was on this side of the room. But in the dream, the dresser was on this side of the room by the windows, and it bothered me when I woke up from that dream. Like it really bothered me because I had no idea who these people were that I was seeing in the dream, and it was weird. It felt like it had happened there. And so I started to research the building. I started to do a little background check on the building. Um, there were definitely ghostly encounters. Like you could feel vibes like crazy in the building. Some of the stuff that I had found on the building was really odd stuff. That there's this huge police record with the building. In fact, some of the cases are even no access to them. We have no access to them. There are some that we do. There's a lot of heroin use involved with the building's history. During the 80s, there was prostitution that was being done during the 80s, and it was in the 80s, I believe, that I had read. Yeah, during the 80s, 2 rapes took place in the building. That was brought out later on. And then, the weirdest one that I had found, believe it or not, that there was a man. His name was Samila Somas Jr. In 1993, was shot in the building, said to be in the bathroom. He was taken to Lehigh Valley Hospital. And this is what's weird about it now. He's taken to Lehigh Valley Hospital, and the police records show, and the newspaper articles show, that they didn't know if he was a resident there or not. They didn't know if he lived there, but this is where it happened. In the morning, when they went to check up on his well-being, and not only was he gone, there was no record of him ever visiting the hospital. then there's the notorious basement issue. This is so strange. My son was playing football in the alleyway one day, and he had accidentally thrown the football over. We thought it was on a roof. But when we went upstairs to go look to see where on the roof it was from the other window, we noticed that there's no roof there. So we go down and we tell the maintenance guy, and the maintenance guy opens up the door for me to go get the football. And he's like, the building's crazy. He goes, you don't want to go down there. And I'm like, why not? He goes, because it goes on for blocks. And I'm like, what do you mean it goes on for blocks? He goes, the basement goes on for blocks. So as I go into the doorway, the final doorway of the building in the alley, thinking I'm walking inside, as soon as I walk inside, I look up, there's no roof. All I see is open sky. So I come down to walk, and I'm looking for the football, and here the football fell down by the doorway into the basement. So as I go down, I realize there's no steps. It's the piles of big rocks that are going down into this pit. And when you get down into this pit, it's not even a doorway. It's a hole in a wall, literally a hole in a wall. It looks like a cave going into the building. And I go to get the football, and I take one glance, and I couldn't see the walls on the opposite side. It was too dark. So it did look big. I couldn't tell you how big. It was just, I couldn't see the walls. I could tell you that. You can look in and it's all darkness, like it's a whole different. But the maintenance guy tells me that it goes on for blocks. I'm already finding the whole place strange. We end up in this position where things started to get really weird. I wake up this one morning. In fact, we went and got my other kids. We were there playing video games. And my son, or was it my daughter? It was my daughter, Olivia. She points at my elbow and says, "Dad, what's that?" And I look on my elbow, and I find just a white dot. It looked like a head, like a way head. But it wasn't ready to break. Like, I tried squeezing it, it wouldn't break. So I left it go. I'm like, oh, we'll see what happens. Well, this thing blows up. I mean, a big. Here, what I find out is called a wobble. And I didn't know it at first. And for several days, I'm pouring peroxide on it, thinking it's just a big pimple, it's gonna bust, or it's just weird. One day, my stepmom comes over, and I'm showing it to her. She's like, "There's a hole in the middle there. It looks like something's in there." She's like, "Maybe you should take a pin with rubbing alcohol and soak around inside of it." And I was like, "That's a good idea, but I didn't have any rubbing alcohol." So instead, I clean it up, and I wrap it. Put a Band-Aid over the top of it, and then I wrapped it. And I left it for the night. And the next morning, when I woke up, I'm getting ready for work. It's like 6 o'clock in the morning. And I unwrap the wrap. And those scars right there, you can see them. That's the mark. Hanging outside of it, I thought was like a big piece of pus. So when I went to grab it, I realized it was still partially in my arm, and it's pulling back, and it's excruciating pain. It really is. I end up pulling it out and realized that it moved. And when I realized that it moved, I dropped it. It turned out was a maggot, and a maggot that does turn into what's called a bot fly. And they're usually found in Central America, parts of South America, tropical fly. Why I would get one in Allentown, Pennsylvania, it's a pretty damn good question. But in many religions believe the botfly is the mark of the Beelzebub. Right after the mark happened, things started to get really strange. I had decided to start checking out the ghost radar I kept hearing so much about. So we're sitting there, we're playing a risk game, it's 4 of us. Kids are, you know, Daisy and Mythical are running around. And so we get the app up on the phone where we start playing with it. While one's taking a turn, the other one's passing the phone, asking us questions. Things start to show up. It doesn't make sense in the beginning because it's saying something about being tired and something about the kitchen. It sounds like a housewife complaining, or I don't know. Well, here we can start handing it. Mythical somehow ends up with it in his hand, and he asks questions to it and says, will you stand in the middle where the board of the table is, where we're playing this game? And it answers, we are. And on the screen, the dot's right in the middle, like right exactly where it belongs to be. And the first time it raised my eye. As we were passing it around, I had gotten the phone, and it had called me a pig. Usually when you hear a spirit call you a pig, it's usually a leak, a demon would say. I knew that when I heard it, and it was weird, but for some reason I didn't believe it. I do believe in demons, but I just didn't feel that in the house. Here we get to this point where I'm in the middle of a project. Constitution Drive the series was done, and it was already put out. Was putting together a comedy. A-Town 2 had absolutely nothing to do with the paranormal. It was a skit that I'll be dropping actually very soon. In the middle of this, I'm filming a scene in it where I'm getting ready to go. It's a music scene. I have a lot in my mind, whatever, in the movie. And as I'm doing this, I get up, and there's an alarm clock sitting on the entertainment stand. The entertainment stand is, you have the wall like this, and then there's the bars, things over here. The clock's like right there. I didn't notice this till after I had filmed it. As I'm walking through, the clock is spinning. And the clock is spinning. And I'm looking at this, and when I'm in the camera, as I go back to see it, and I'm like, I gotta put this on the laptop. And as I walk by, I don't notice it spinning when I'm in the middle of doing the act. I walk by it, I go grab my coat like I'm leaving, like I'm supposed to. I come up, and at one point in time, I look at the clock. Like I'm looking to see what time it is. And when I do, the clock stops. As soon as my eyes stay off of it, and I start walking again past it, the clock starts spinning again. And it just blew my mind. And I recorded 3 different recordings that happened. And I was like, I want to see this again. And then when I moved the camera to another angle, it still did it. It was weird. But then at one point, I had left. I had to leave. I had to go to work. I came back, tried to do it again, and we just couldn't get it to do it again. it was just something that was accidentally caught on tape, and it was in the apartment, and things started to get really weird. And during this time, the fighting was starting to get pretty intense. There's a lot of arguing, just a lot of bumping heads. So I would try to go back to the room, try to practice what I was, try to figure out what this problem was, and we start taking some pictures. And the one night we watched a movie, an old movie, I've seen it before, I'm sure you heard of it, called White Noise, and it's about EVP. And I'm like, you know what, I used to be a rapper and stuff, so I have recording equipment, and I'm like, well, I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna see if this works. So I set it up, just checking it out. We got a response on the first one. We got 3 of them at the time before, for some reason, I stopped recording.
There's cops right down there. I think that's cops.
Hello?
Wow. I'm gonna be noisy. That's a cop. What the fuck is he doing? What the hell?
What's your name? Are you here? What's your name? Are you here? Did somebody hurt you? Did somebody hurt you?
Then I would take these pictures. I just take the camera, snap, and I turned it out. And at one point I got this one picture, and I've showed it to so many people. And they see it, a naked woman, a phantom of a naked woman. And you're about to see what that looks like. But when you see the outline to it, it just blows your mind. And it's worth seeing. The fact that we got these on tape, the pictures, the EVPs, all the signs were there. And the ghosts. So many ghosts. From spinning alarm clocks, to writings on the wall, to images and shadows flying across the room. Attitudes began to change. We become at war with each other. We become at war with each other. Saying and doing exact opposite things that we normally do. Our morals are broken. We have prostituted our very principles. But with only only could it be complete by bending the pentagram into the home. But how would the pentagram get into the home? Perhaps on the body of another man. Decisions that nobody would provably make. Children are acting a fool to their parents. Honor thy mother and thy father, and they argue. From the very first ghost radar in the house, when it called me a pig, should have been sign enough a demon was in the house. And to constantly deny he's there. But he is. No, he's not. It became obvious. Possession was taking place in the house. The demon with the hat was present. He started conflicts in our home and made us to make decisions that we would truly regret. But after the botfly, the mark, placed by Beelzebub, the mirrors combined, the ghost trying so hard to communicate, letting us know that there was a problem. The very medium that lived in our home, Lenny State, called forth and sat there and said himself there was something truly wrong in the home. The writings on the wall, the insects that came from nowhere. Only spot needed now was the pentagram. And how would the pentagram get into the house? On the arm of a fugitive. So then it would happen. I would come home to the Allentown police at the door telling me that I'm not allowed in. A slick move to throw me out. As your eyes cried because you knew you didn't want to make the decision. Something had persuaded you. I told you I was gonna get ya. I told you I was gonna get ya. I'm coming to get you. I'm coming to get you. Trying to catch Patrick O'Toole. Question is, did we get him? We're gonna find out in a few minutes. Right here we go. Patrick O'Toole being taken out right now. The Allentown police out of Diane Silkworth's apartment. Right here we go. Patrick O'Toole being taken out right now. The Allentown police out of Diane Silkworth's apartment. So I get him out of there. Patrick's gone. There's a little bit of arguing for the next couple of days. Not very much with me and Diane. Ended within a couple of days before we started to be able to talk. And I knew I had to get her out of the house in order to talk to her. I couldn't talk to her when she was in the house. And so I set up a couple of meetings that I would pick her up, take her to the grocery store, whatever the case would be, just to talk at the park or whatever the case is. And those talks would go very pleasant. And then as soon as she would be back into the house, it was like the immediate switch. And she was doing everything that I know she doesn't do it. All the stuff that happened was not Diane. It was not Diane. It was something else. I'm believing of that. And when I seen the actions of my daughter and the way she was with me, I seen it as well. And another thing is, I never spoke to them truly about this demon. I didn't explain anything about him. Diane, I had mentioned once that I thought there might be one in the house in the middle of an argument. I said, because of the way you're acting. I had my faults, but things got calm, and I got to the point where I was able to do the blessings on the house. The day that the blessings in the house happened, it was like an immediate difference. It was completely calm again. There were no storms. It was peaceful, but cautious. And so I decided that the best way I could go about this was to interview everybody in the house for themselves. And the most shocking part was I got a chance to find out with my daughter. She's been clairvoyant her entire life. It is believed that possibly clairaudient as well. She has had so many signs throughout her life of being able to do it. And ask her. Well, blessings, 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 blessings needed. Let's baptize the demon. Blessings needed, blessings needed, blessings needed. I will interview everybody in the house now that I'm back in. And let's see if what I tell you is the truth. Let's see all the things are real. And let's see if the blessing on the home really worked. And most importantly of all, did I lose my daughter to a demon? My daughter has been clairvoyant since she was very young. Did my kids know about the demon? Do they see him? Do they talk to him? This I needed to know. And this I would find out. Could she possibly know without us telling her? Be gone, my friend. Weirdest one that I had found, believe it or not, that there was a man. His name was Samila Somas Jr. In 1993, was shot in the building, said to be in the bathroom. He was taken to Lehigh Valley Hospital. And this is what's weird about it now. He's taken to Lehigh Valley Hospital, and the police records show and the newspaper articles show that they didn't know if he was a resident there or not. They didn't know if he lived there, but this is where it happened. In the morning, when they went to check up on his well-being, and not only was he gone, there was no record of him ever visiting the hospital. So we're in the apartment after the events, and we came in, my first chance to get back into it, we did a blessing on the house. All of the areas, you may not be able to see them with the camera. As you can see, that is virgin oil. The cross formation, if you can see it. I put these all over, all the doorways. It's a little hard to see that one. But all of the doorways, as you can see right there, that's the crack, right there yet again. Even in here, all of them did the hallway pretty well. As you can see right there is the cross. The blessing of the home seemed to have done well. We even circled the cross on the wall. And somewhere around here I did another one. I believe it is. It's in here somewhere, but anyway. All the rooms of the house, got it done inside and outside, trapping him into the last room. The bathroom was important because of that. Right there. The bullet hole. And a portal which was drawn from the mirror. If you can see, it has been closed. That is the portal entryway that they were getting here. And since that moment, we've only had one spiritual presence, which seems to be a pleasant one. Probably feels like more grateful to have been freed from what was here. The room.
I met Mrs. Aronson last year.
Came into the end.
To see our collection of Da Vinci
Came
drawings.
right there.
She has some very talented young artists in her group. Very strong on technique.
So what do you think?
As for
A big mood change since
well, the sooner they stop
the blessing on the home?
metal, the better.
Well, what about the kid who was
S1ep3
listening to Deutschland Uberalis? Is he one of ours?
Less tension?
This
Yeah.
drawing was done in freehand calligraphy.
Do you feel a difference?
Each figure was outlined with one
Like in
continuous
vibe?
line.
Yeah, the vibe is better.
Inspired by Japanese Sumi
The vibe
painting.
is.
Okay.
Very much like this one.
Hello, Jen.
Right.
Let me ask you a question. Have you ever seen any ghostly activity in this building?
No.
No?
No.
Not at all?
No.
What about the pictures?
No picture.
The picture in your camera?
Yeah, that one.
You never experienced anything downstairs when you lived in the lower apartment?
No, just on the ladder.
The ladder? What happened with the ladder?
Just saw the picture of. Actually, it was Mr. Cow. It was a picture of the cat, and there was a shadow on the ladder.
The shadow on the ladder?
Yeah.
Have you ever noticed like a feeling in people's attitudes and stuff, like getting a little evil? Real anger spells and stuff like that?
I don't know.
You could be honest. People get sudden spurts of being angry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Since the house was blessed, do you feel like there was any kind of relief from that? Like, did it lighten up the tension a little bit?
Yeah.
Yeah? What's the matter? You're like in a daze.
No. I'm hot. I'm trying to sleep.
You okay?
Yeah.
Alright. You know anybody that might have had an ability to call a demon to the building?
No.
No?
No.
So you don't know anybody that practices any forms of witchcraft or anything like that?
No.
No? Okay. Do you still feel like there's a presence in the building at all?
No.
No? Okay. Hello.
Hello.
Have you ever noticed any anger spells?
No.
Not with anybody in the house?
Yes, I'm joking, yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
No difference in attitudes or...
Well, there's always attitudes here, though. That, I already told you all this, though.
You mentioned something about the bathroom.
Yeah, that stupid light keeps flickering off and on.
Do you remember when I was still living here when we were playing that little game when we put the two mirrors together? That little mirror right there? And the one in the bathroom?
Okay, I don't remember the game. Refresh my memory.
Remember when we took that mirror right there?
Okay, I'm looking at it, yeah.
It was in the bathroom at one time.
I don't...
They were facing each other. One was on one side and one was on the other.
I don't remember. I'm sorry, I don't. I don't remember right now.
Okay, let me ask you this. Did you notice, when we first moved in here,
Okay.
was there an insect problem?
Yes.
What kind of insect?
Like they were like ticks.
These little tick things, right?
Yeah. I still get them every now and then. I get one here or there, but they haven't been that much anymore.
Hmm?
Except for the yesterday or this morning, there was this weird creature floating on my floor. Like it was a weird bug. You had to kill it, remember?
Yeah,
That
I
was
should have
just a weird
videotaped
one.
that
Yeah,
thing.
you should have.
I have no idea. I have no idea what that bug was. I have no clue.
See? So, I don't know. Yeah, but yeah, that is true. We did. We had that insect problem. And then it stopped. Thank God. Ants. And they slowed down very good, too. They stopped coming.
Remember the bot fly?
Yeah, I remember the butterfly. You had to take that shit out of your arm.
You remember where my armor was?
It was some right here on your arm. You have a scar.
Can you hold the camera for a minute?
Yeah. See? See, guys? I'm gonna point to it so you guys can see it was right here. But somehow it blistered up, and this is the effect from it. See? Let me do it again. Right here was the fly. That he took this thing out of his arm here, and it made these two holes. That's these two holes. And then the rest is just because somehow he blistered up from it after he took it out. It was really bad and affected and everything. It was so gross.
And what came out of there?
A maggot. It looked like a freaking maggot.
And it was alive, right?
Yes, and it was nasty. I should have taped that.
Yeah.
I should have, right?
Absolutely.
I should have, but that was so gross. That's gross.
You know what
Ew.
that's a sign of?
What?
In Central America, they call them Beelzebub. You know what Beelzebub is?
No, no idea what the fuck.
Beelzebub is a demon that is known as the Lord of the Flies. He tortures ghosts and spirits that are in buildings.
So you're a demon?
I'm not a demon. What the heck are you talking
Well,
about?
you just said.
No.
So they're just trying to...
It symbolizes a marking of, remember when we first time we ran the ghost detector and we were here with Lenny?
Yeah.
And we were playing Risk, the board game, and we were
Yeah.
passing the thing around the table, and when I grabbed it, it called me a pig.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Oh, yeah.
That was Beelzebub.
But see, Lenny said that he was, what the hell did he call himself? A mediator or a medium? I think
medium.
that's what it's called.
So is there, you know, anybody that practices witchcraft?
Yeah, I know, actually, a couple people.
Yeah, any of them have been in this apartment at all?
Yeah. Probably one, maybe two.
Two?
Two, I say two.
Two?
Yeah, but I can't disclose their names because I know...
I understand that.
You know that, but I do know of two. You know them. And I can't disclose their names.
Have you experienced any ghostly encounters at all in the time that we've been here? Other than the EVPs and stuff?
Huh?
Huh?
Yes.
Yeah? Like what?
Like when you were at this haunted place thing.
No, here.
No, here.
Yeah.
In this apartment.
Yeah.
Have you seen anything in this house that looks a little weird?
Yes.
Like what?
Like just writing on the wall.
There's writing on the wall. Where?
You remember that Lily loves drawing?
Oh, yeah, there's writing on the wall.
Here, it's right here.
Yeah.
It's somewhere there, and it's like really...
Right here.
Yeah. Hold on, I'm gonna try to get it in there. It is... Seriously shows up on the wall. Hard to get it in. Trying to get a focus.
Should I turn the light?
Mom, this is heaven.
Yeah.
Is it better?
There we go.
You know how I know?
Got it.
The pink.
It just shows up on the wall.
And Mom, you're supposed to go like.
You're being interviewed.
About what?
We're gonna forget about the argument for a minute. We're gonna talk about something else. We're gonna talk about ghosts.
Tell me something. Can you tell me something?
About what?
I just need to know. Do you think there's any ghost in this apartment? Like seriously, on a serious deal.
Mom, you know I can see ghosts.
But I want to know. Do you
Yes,
think there's
there are ghosts.
There are. Why you say that?
I just said I see ghosts.
Well, does it have to do with my life or anything? Like, you
Daisy
know
has
how
been
bad the lights
clairvoyant.
go off and all? What do you think about that? You think that's ghostly activity?
Daisy has been
No.
clairvoyant since she's been a baby.
So who's in my home?
Can't tell you.
Why not?
I
Come on.
promised I wouldn't.
Well, what about the other ones?
Is there a girl?
Is there
Yeah.
a girl? Is there a guy?
He's stupid.
He's stupid.
He thinks the landlord, when the landlord knocks, it's a dog barking.
Oh, he got them backwards.
Yeah. And when
Is
Bonnie
there-
barks, he thinks the landlord's knocking.
Is
Does
there a demon by any chance?
does any of the ghosts that you ever see come through the house talk about being hurt while they were here?
Yeah.
Who?
When we were actually downstairs at Titi Jen's apartment, there was actually were two girls. One you saw. That one was actually true.
The one I saw?
Yeah, the one that you saw, and she actually had somebody else there with her.
The one for the story on the dresser. The
Yeah.
story I said about the dresser?
Yeah, and there was another girl there with her.
And how did they get hurt? Did somebody come in the window?
Yeah, someone killed them. He died the same way.
Wow. Do you happen to see at all a man that you can't see his face?
Yeah,
What color is he?
he's fully black.
Meaning like a Afro-American or like a shadow?
A shadow.
Does he
And
tell you what his name is?
he tried to one time, but he had to go.
Does he have any insects near him?
What?
Does he have any
Insects,
bugs?
like flies.
Does he have any bugs near him, like flies, ants?
He did one time.
What were they?
He did.
What was it?
It was actually flies. He was trying to scare Mystic out, but he didn't work. Mystic didn't even pay attention to him at all. Mystic kept on playing his game. So he started throwing a fit.
That's just messed up.
So
Do you think he could have been the one that put that thing in your dad's arm?
I think so.
Ew, that's just so gross stuff.
Yeah.
Do you know what he is?
Huh?
Do you know what he is?
Not really.
He's not like a ghost, is he?
No.
He's different.
Yeah.
Is he?
He's the only one out of the ghosts that you can't see his face. He's the only one. All the rest you can see their face.
Does he torment the other ghosts?
No, when he comes, all the other ghosts leave.
Is it like they're afraid of him?
Yeah.
And he never told you his name?
Nope. He was going to one time. It was the second to last time I saw him. It was the day before yesterday when I was here for my birthday. I was sitting down right on the bed with Ava, and Ava was videotaping us and he was gonna tell me, and I started laughing.
Where does he come from in the house when he shows up?
Usually when I see him, he's in the hallway right there in front of the bathroom.
Front of the bathroom?
Yeah.
Does he ever come from inside the bathroom or your mom's room?
He actually comes from this one time when I left my mom's room. He came from in Titi Jen's room.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought there was somebody in my hallway.
Yeah, and he
asked
acted
the
like he was
kids
up to
this.
something.
I thought somebody was in my hallway, and I asked them. I did. I asked them. I said, "Did you see that?"
The
And they
blessing
go,
may have worn off.
Yeah, I said, "Did y'all see that?" And
He
they
was
go,
here-
"See what?"
he was
and
here
I'm
this
like, "Y'all didn't
morning."
see that guy down the hall?" Because we just got back
He was
late at
here-
night. We did. We got way back at night, and I asked the kids. I said, "Did y'all see that?" And they go, "See what?" And I'm like, It was coming out like if you looked at my hall, you'll see how it goes off like this. Like you make a right hand turn.
Yes.
You could have swore that you seen, but you can't see his face. He's like a black. She ain't lying. He's like a black figure. It's not normal, but you could tell it's but it looks like a person.
Shaped
And
like
it
a
looked-
regular human
You know,
silhouette?
but
Or does he have
in
a
other
hood?
words, you know, you have you
It's
ever
like-
heard? Daddy,
how
have
do
you
you
ever heard
explain
of the shadow people?
Yes, you know.
They're kind
He's
of like
just
that.
like
Yeah.
that.
Remember when I hurt my leg?
They're kind
Yeah.
of like them. They're kind of like the shadow people. That's what we're trying to say.
All right. I got two more questions.
I kind of
One,
not like that.
when he is present, how does your emotions start to act? Do they start to
Sometimes
get
he can
angry?
be moody. Yeah. Yeah.
Every time he's there, you start to get in a moody, real
He was
moody.
here this
Yeah,
morning
like that.
actually. He looked, but this time he looked like he was looking for someone.
Yeah, there's sometimes the
He
one
was
that.
looking-
Sometimes, yeah, this one time he asked me, did I see her, and I didn't have no clue what he was talking about. He is a guy though.
Sometimes
He is
does
definitely
wear
a guy,
hat.
but he has this thing. On this one
How
time
do
I saw him, he actually sometimes wears a hat.
Yeah. Like the hat, like one of the hats you have. Like but the old style ones, like.
Yeah.
You can tell it's a dude.
Yeah, you could look.
Yeah, like the way that the hats is and stuff, you can tell it's a dude. But the shape to
And the way he
it,
talks too.
it's
is
like a
really
shadow
deep.
person, but only with a hat on.
Yeah, and he has a really deep voice.
Okay, let me ask you a question.
He said, "Yeah, I
hat.
remember that."
On a
'Cause
scale,
I came
on a
here
scale
for
from
that.
1 to 10, okay, on a scale from 1 to 10, I want you to compare all the times that he's been in his home, okay, and on
1
a
to
scale,
10?
no, listen, on a scale from
He's
1 to
here
10,
every day.
listen, when he's here, does everybody start arguing?
10.
Every time he's here, it starts arguments in the home.
Yes.
I
That's
don't
one
know.
thing.
Now,
That's
let
one
me-
thing I do know. All the time when I see him, Mystica starts fighting with Jen or.
Mom's just so used to everybody arguing here. Mommy just
you-
ignores it.
let me ask you
Mommy's
a
the
question.
peacemaker here.
Daisy, during the time since I've been out and stuff like that, have you seen anybody try to practice any kind of spells in this house using witchcraft?
How?
You might not know it as witchcraft, but like perhaps throwing around the house doing like weird, odd things.
Yeah.
Who?
It was actually this one ghost that actually does my
No, I
being
mean
wrong.
a person.
A person? It actually was Mom when she was in her sleep. Mom was walking around.
But I do sleepwalk. I've been sleepwalking since I was like,
And then
3?
this one time, my mom was doing that, and I followed her, and Ma came right here, and Ma opened the door, and Ma was saying this weird, very weird, this very weird word, really weird. It's a really funny word to me, but he acted like it was serious. Like, and I started laughing, like, stop laughing, stop laughing, stop laughing. It was fun. It started with a Q. It started with a Q and ended with the A. It was really funny though.
Alright, let me ask you something. The night that you seen me come in, the night that I came into the house and I blessed the house with the oil and the stuff that I did, did you notice any form of relief?
He actually seemed to be a little happier. Like someone left that was scaring him, but I didn't see this person. But all the other times I saw him, he all the times he had to go, he had this like little nervous tone in his voice.
He was aggravated?
Yeah, like someone was scaring him to death for him to look for something. But as soon as the house got blessed, he seems like so much relief came out of him.
Did it look like, did he leave?
Not exactly. He's here every day, but he's here more and less.
More at night?
Yeah, more at night. He's scared to be here during the day.
Because
he wants the other ghosts to roam around.
One more question. Did he start showing up less when Patrick left?
Actually, as soon as we moved in here and we were getting everything situated and all, he actually did start showing up. But as soon as Patrick came, he started showing up more.
More?
Yeah, and he was around me more. He's still always around me. He's like my best buddy in this house out of all the ghosts, but when he came, he was around me even more and more, like something bad was gonna happen.
You know he's not a ghost, right? You know what he is. Do you know what he is?
No.
He doesn't tell you, does he?
No. He's scared to tell me. I ask him all the time and then he disappears.
Alright. I'm going to conclude this interview, and you did very well. I'm glad you shared this with us. So the blessings worked. And how pleasant it is to know the blessings have worked. Cleared the air. Everybody feels better now. But will it remain that way? Will we stay living in happiness? Will the demons stay away? My daughter says he's still there. Limited, limited, limited. They must leave the building. And we will. I removed the criminal. The demon is tamed. 621 West Turner, the House of Demon. Long history. Long history indeed.